how did white people become white people? I'm so glad you asked. I find that most white people have no idea how they came to identify as white. And because they don't know that history, they often fundamentally misunderstand the push against whiteness and white supremacy. You see, white people didn't exist before the middle of the 17th century, as in the middle of the 1600s. And if your mind immediately went to the year 1619, then you're on to something. More on that later. And this isn't to say that lighter-skinned people didn't exist. Of course they did. Europe is a real place with real people. But those people didn't identify as white people. They were Englishmen, Dutch, Germanic, Slavs, Greeks, Gauls, Scythians. Princeton history professor Dr. Nell Irvin Painter chronicles the invention of this diasporic, pan-European white identity in her book, The History of White People. She demonstrates how white identity was constructed, primarily as a justification for the enslavement of African people. Whiteness was, from the very beginning, constructed to be the antithesis of blackness. Enslavers needed some moral and philosophical cover for what they were doing to African people. And so the myth of whiteness, moral purity, superiority, ruling destiny was born. And as such, whiteness is and always has been a political identity, a fraternal order, a loyalty rewards program that depends entirely on all of its members agreeing to maintain the myth. And even though this myth has been thoroughly debunked, many are working overtime to this very day to maintain its power. Like and follow for more.
I don't know if you read literature books, but if you read literature and you are a follower of science or philosophy, you must have heard of the character Plato. Well, in the domain of literature, Plato gave out a theory. He gave out a theory that literature is a mirror of the society. Whatever we see that is written through these storybooks, through novels, through the movies, fictional art and literary work, and also artistic art, all these are mirrors of the society. They show what the society is all about. You understand? For example, if we look at the book, The Animal Farm by George Orwell, the Animal Farm is about the political leadership, the corruption, and also it speaks about the fall and the rise and the fall of the Union of the Soviet Socialist Republic. That is all about the Animal Farm, but they use characters of animals. Now, placing the idea of Plato in your mind that literature is a mirror of the society, I want us to go all the way to Hollywood. Back then, we used to have these. I used to watch this movie as a kid. I don't know what's the real movie, but I can remember the idea about it. The idea about it was that there was a program that was established by the US government and an organization of taking people to space, which was called NASA. It still exists up to date. National Aeronautical Space Administration. Yeah. So the US government and NASA had a program that they called SETI. SETI is an abbreviation or an acronym. SETI means Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence was there to establish if there was possible intelligence outside Earth. Yeah, and we've also seen that many movies are established upon the idea if there is extraterrestrial intelligence outside Earth. And most recently, we've had people not really complaining, but saying that they have seen unidentified flying objects. I have never seen a UFO before myself. I have never seen. But if it were possible for me to see, I would take myself to a place where I could see them and have a witness to them. But now we want to base our arguments based on the claims, based on the testimonies of other individuals. Now, if we talk of searching for extraterrestrial intelligence, a white man came forward and explained a theory that blew up my mind. His theory was that white people are extraterrestrial intelligence. White people are not from Earth. White people are aliens. In fact, he corrects us that it is not alien, it is Aryan. You know, Aryan with A-R-I-A-N. But us in Earth, we spell it as A-L-I-E-N with L, but according to the white man, it is R. This man explains that white people are kind of, space beings, and they came to Earth. And when they came to Earth, they came with one agenda: to wipe off the population of the Earth. And you see, what this white man is saying is something we've always seen on the movies, something we've always seen through these Marvel movies. We've seen them through, we've read novels about them. You know, as kids, we've always known about this. I believe as a kid yourself, you've watched these movies or heard of such things. Now, I want us to listen to this man, listen to his bold idea. As what do you think about, after this video, we'll have a discussion where you'll give us also your thoughts on the comment section on what you think about this man. Yeah. Now, let's dive into this video, get to listen to this white gentleman who is possibly not human, but an Aryan. Let's watch it.
Many of you dark-skinned people, in America mainly, have had a suspicion for a very long time. White people are not really human. And this suspicion has been around for a long, long time. And like any suspicion which is around for a long, long time, there is a little bit of truth to it. I want to admit today to you that white people originating from Northern Europe are called, not aliens, they are called Aryans. Sorry about that, my brain don't function so well today. These white people are not really human from this earth like black people.
They grow the Negroid race here first. So in actual fact, the African race are of divine origin and are in fact children of the overseers. This is seen as a bacteria implanted in your genetics as hominid genome, as was done by the overseers from Orion and Sirius. Your carbon C6 base form, as black as coal, grow from H1HCCON708 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 equals 24. Hydrogen equals 1. Helium equals 2. Carbon equals 6. Nitrogen equals 7. Oxygen equals 8. In all, 24. There has been uncovered 223 extraterritorial genes in your 24,000 genomes that travel in sets of 3 on the genes. So they in fact implanted some of their own DNA into your own. You are encoded as divine. Black matter equals 24%. Black energy equals 76%. Dark energy is expanding. Dark matter is being pulled as the universe speeds up to freeze. The planet Earth, or the water world, is moving at a speed of 135 miles per second. You have been hypnotized 6,000 years ago by witches of the cursed evil seed of Enos, son of Seth, son of Adam, made by falling ones of Anakim, Anunnaki, called Elohim, Alihat in the Bible and the Quran. The Anunnaki used the Pleiadians' DNA to graft and make Adumites, to Cainites, to Canaanites. Their seeds was grafted, made and born 3,761 BCE, or 4004 BC, as they record, and was only given 6,000 years to enforce their hypnotic spell of sleep over you, which expires 2000 to 2003 AD, which is 6000 AC. AC is Adam's calendar. This is the gospel from the beginnings of beginnings. This is from the beginnings, which we have seen, which we have looked at and watched and have taught humans are the only creatures that know they will one day die. This has affected human thinking as the birth of fear. Don't let others cause your death before your physical or mental time. Fear came with uncertainty, or that led to faith and beliefs that became religions of beliefs to hopes and desires. This Ayanun proclaim concerning you and your life as Nuwaubians. Life is both physical and spiritual. It appears we see them in actions and testifies to them. Ayanun proclaim to you the eternal soul, which or who is connected to the omniverse from the universe and has manipulated through us here on physical earth. So I proclaim to you what you can see and hear, so that you also may have links to all, as all of you, the all. Know this, left brain is male power analytical, and right brain is female images. These two must become one, perfection of thinking and doing energy in motion, or emotional beings, soul. This is the symbol of the braid worn on the left or the right side by the holder of the double helix of the mitochondria DNA of female or M other, mother of us both. And the male wears his braid in the back to relate to the back of the medulla oblongata. Yet both mother and father, male and female, need to connect and use the frontal lobe of the brain and the pineal gland. This is a part of my message to you. You have heard from above and is declared to you. Intellect, do not become blinded by the brightness of white light of confusion and chaos. There is no light inside your being. Light is blinding. It is blindness or faith. Not intelligent or intelligence of fact. Even the Bible and the Quranic God dwell in darkness. Then said, let there be light. And with
Now, this is such a bold, who can write such a script? Who can write such a script? This is something that is out of it's something which is out of this universe for someone to write such a thing, if there is. I personally believe that we have, not everyone who walks this street is a human being. That one I always know, Angels walk amongst us. Devils walk amongst us. Right now you might be in a bus. Are you sure everyone in that car is human? Are you sure of that? You ain't sure. When you go to the store, you're not sure everyone is human. And all this is always being shown on the screen. All this you are represented to as a movie, as some funny child movies, and you laugh looking at them. For example, is The Simpsons. I believe you know the cartoon Simpsons. These people give accurate predictions. They predict things, and those things come to happen. They even predict the date, the cloth, the food, even to tiny details, such as the kind of pen, such as the kind of tie, such as the type of spoon, and all that. They are precise to the detail. And who gives this intelligence? Who provides such kind of intelligence to these people? There has to be something that is way much above our own intelligence as human. There has to be some beings with superior intelligence to ours, And this brings about the idea of the Nephilim. The Nephilims, do you think the Nephilims really went away? Or their bodies is what died and their spirit remained? We've also had allegations that the AI has been something which is, has some supernatural powers on it. The science of quantum physics is a science which is mind-blowing. It's something between the supernatural and the natural. Nobody can fully explain what quantum physics is. Even Einstein himself, with his genius mind, couldn't fully explain. He couldn't explain what quantum physics is. With quantum physics, I can go through this screen and go to the other side without breaking it, and come back without breaking it. Who explains such things? So the possibility that this man is saying that all white people are not humans and they came to Earth to eradicate humans might be holding some ground to some level, because whatever happens is this: if you want to know the truth and you are really in the way of knowing the truth, remove everything that is impossible. Just remove everything that is impossible. Whatever you are left with, just after removing everything that you know is impossible, that which is left, however improbable that thing might be, that thing which is left is always the truth. The improbable is always the truth. Yeah? Because there is a race which has been making itself better. There is a race which has dedicated itself on wiping other races, particularly the black race. And this gentleman is saying the original human beings are Africans and Asians. Mind-blowing. Johann Blumenbach came with his own theory that whites came from the Caucasus Mountains. This man is saying otherwise. Tomorrow we will see another person saying otherwise, But it's a world where opinions are always everywhere. It's a world where opinions shape a lot. But in as much as opinions shape a lot, let's take care and let's learn from each. Let's hear from each. Let's learn from each. Let's scrutinize each. And maybe one of these things are true. Maybe Blumenbach is right. Maybe he's wrong. Maybe this gentleman is right. Maybe he's wrong. But one thing which is true is this. There's a race that has always dedicated itself on wiping another race, particularly the black race. You know who the race is, right? Yeah. Share your thoughts in the comment section on what you think about this gentleman, because this is just mind-blowing. See you in the next one, guys.